So I'm pretty nervous. I think the last in-person in English lecture that I have to give was 2 or 3 years ago. So I don't know. Stay with me, please. Don't go. If Spanish comes out, there's people here that speak in Spanish. Please tell me. Or do the translation, whatever it works. If you want to interrupt me in the middle of the presentation, do it. But I'm going to talk about myself. It's my favorite topic, or the thing that I know the most. So my name is Fer. I know the last R is hard to pronounce in English, but think like this, remove the N and you're fine. I'm from Buenos Aires. This is the distance that I live from here. It's 5 hours in the future. I grew up there. Buenos Aires is the capital city of, I live in the capital city of Buenos Aires. I went to university there. I was a teacher. I was teaching there for 15 years. And I love type. Today in the morning I said, in some point, I will say that I love letters. But I'm lying. I only love type. I don't care about calligraphy or lettering. Hope someone does, because I don't want to do it. In these 13 years that I've been doing type, I get a lot of questions from students that I don't know how they get to know my work, but they have questions. And the most common question is, how do I do the things that I do? And I don't know what to answer to them. But today I'm going to talk about this idea of having ideas, on having a process, or thinking on letter shapes. I don't know how many of you know this man and this book, Bruno Munari. I don't know if this book exists in English. The name is How the Objects Are Born. At least it's the translation. I think it exists in Italian and in Spanish. I don't know if it exists in English. The book is about the process on solving issues surrounding the design. A chair, a poster, or whatever. And he tried to explain his process. I will be talking a bit about him. The other part of my life is Britney Spears, The Woman in Me, excellent book. In between having a process to do things and telling about my life, that's me. The magazine says I have a European face in a Latin body, something like me. But the idea is to talk about having ideas, making letters, and other stuff that, at least at my point of view, are interesting to know. So where do ideas come from? I really don't know. I'm going to start there. But I'm going to present you my path in type on my way to having ideas. The beginning part is to say that the process is part of the final work. In Spanish, sounds so much better. And yes, I use Google Translate to check my English, and because I stopped fighting with ChatGPT because I don't care what he says. This is me, the only moment of my life where letters weren't the problem. Look how happy I am. Going somewhere to do nothing, probably. But after that, I need to be in school. I went to public school. I went for first grade. They told me how to write. I was happy. I lost a tooth, but I was happy. You see my face. And my parents decided to change from one school to another, to me and my sisters. And when they signed me to second grade, the teacher told them that I need to do first grade again because I didn't know how to write in cursive. My mom was a teacher. So you can imagine that her answer was, no. No worries, I will take her, and in 1 month she will be here writing in cursive. So my summer was learning how to write in cursive, and I came back and I passed the test, I passed the grade, and I started doing these things. Look, Mickey Mouse, I'm an artist. That's why I dropped art school. From that moment on, I think letters were something that I think about in some moment of my life every day. So I grew up to become a graffiti punk girl who managed to do letters in every place that I had. I use markers, I use liquid paper, I use whatever I want. I put that on behind because it's so awful. And I was in high school, and I have a design teacher that she told me that some people got paid to draw letters. So I asked her how. And she told me you need to go to graphic design and start to study typography. So at the beginning I said no, because I don't like to be told what to do. And afterwards I went to the university and I applied to go to graphic design. I studied graphic design. At the beginning I loved type from every place. I became a teacher from type 1. This is me. You can find me in some place here. This is how the classroom looks like. It's 400 people in groups of 40, 2 teachers for each group. And one important thing that you need to know is University of Buenos Aires is public and free. It's something that I believe on and I work for, is to continue to be public, free, and quality. But besides faculty and doing things, I started to take as many calligraphy courses as I can. Some of them were formal, some of them were experimental. I have many teachers. I have at least 4 calligraphy teachers. This is me. My face is the one that I almost always have, is sleeping really short amount of hours. And being a teacher, doing things, working and everything, I decided to apply for the specialization on type design. It wasn't a master at the moment. So this is me in the back, learning how to do a typeface. When the moment comes and I have to do my original typeface, I didn't know what to do. Everyone around me had a clear idea on what they want to work with. Most of them were about the style, others were about techniques, or other was about, I don't know, printing in a specific production way. And I didn't know. And the day before I have to present my project to the class, I went to a concert, because why not, if I didn't have any clue. And I went to a jazz concert with a friend, and when we got out, I told him, drive fast, I have an idea. And I decided to present that my plan was that I didn't have a plan, but I want a type system that works as the voices of my favorite jazz singers. In that moment, I didn't have the tools to explain what I was imagining that could be, because I didn't want to talk about the shapes. So I grabbed my teacher and I told him my idea is that one letter can be many, and the important part is that they are going to have different voices. And explain it like that. I did one skeleton, and can be many. It was super weird in the moment, but I decided to build a system like this. It's not the same, but it's not so different. And the combination of the 3 are like one big concert that everyone has a different voice. We have to do 3 styles, but I did 4, just because I want to learn more. This one is never going to see the light of day. Poor girl. And this is how I try to present my project every week. I didn't care about the specifics of the shaping. I was concerned about the rhythm, and the rhythm when they live together. I did a fanzine at the end to explain how these things work. I was the crazy one in the classroom. Not the crazy because I'm crazy, just because I was doing things in a different way, I must say. I present the project, I was super happy. And now you see me all successful, and you must think that I was the best student of the class. Of course not. These are some of the feedback that I got from my final project. I passed. It was fine. But for example, the director of the career told me a lot of will and experimentation that it doesn't land in type. Great. The other one was my teacher. It says the typeface continues to move forward and backwards constantly. Okay. The other one told me a lot of decisions that it has more ideas on the willing of doing things from the designer. Everything is true. Everything is true. But the most important feedback that I got, it was from Robert Fontana. He's the director of the career and is an important type designer in Argentina. He told me it will be benefit if you go a little bit normal. Yeah, so I decided to grab everything, put it on the drawer for, I don't know, a year at least, thinking that maybe I wasn't the type designer that I thought, or maybe type design wasn't for me. I decided to let it go. 1 year after, I decided that I didn't want to let it go, that maybe I should read the feedback in a different way and understand that they're saying more things than the bad ones that I thought. So I decided to finish the typeface. I delete one of the styles, rest in peace. I redraw everything. I delete every single shape. I send it to the background and redraw it with different eyes and with aspects that were more honest with the idea of the combination of the voices of the jazz singers. And in some point, I released the font. That's another thing. But I started to notice that the thing that moves me wasn't about the shapes of the particular letter, it's more about the texture and the landscape that I can build. So when I divide everything in chapters. I'm so sorry, the ones that you saw me today, is everything in chapters in my life. My approach is that when you are working on something, it's probably part of the bigger process that you have, and the ideas are coming back once and again, and you need to pay attention on what moves you to do. In my case, this idea of building a landscape, I took it and I work in parallel with 2 projects in a different way, and I'm not going to go deep on both of them. One was more inspired on my graffiti background. Guess what? Is the one from the left. And the other one, in that moment in my life, I was doing clay. It's okay, clay? Every girl has a clay moment in their life. I have it. Nothing worked. I'm awful at it. Everything went break after the oven. But I decided I wanted to build things, thinking the letters from the rhythm that they have, not inside, but in context of the words. So the exploration took many ways and many different reasons on how to take one course, for example, for the graffiti, or the idea of having something that relies on the shape appearing as letters. But again, it's all about rhythm in the landscape and not the rhythm inside the letter. I went, one is finished, the other one is never finished. And again, I feel like I'm trying to do the same thing over and over and over again. This is not working, okay. Doing type, it's about repetition. We are drawing the same letters over and over again with different ideas, with different eyes, or maybe it's the same idea and the same eyes. So in one point, I decided to take more calligraphy courses and try to get back to the mind of someone else thinking and drawing the letters, is my calligraphy teachers. So I took, the last course that I took was on Roman capitals with pressure with the pen, with the pencil. And doing that, my mind went to other place and I started to think on shapes that are built from the pressure and not forgetting about the ink, or if it's ink, if the pen, if the pencil, or the support, or the medium, it doesn't matter. It's how the letter lives with the idea of something in movement. I draw this. It's not going anywhere, don't worry. This starts and ends here. But it gives me the next step that I wanted to explore. The idea of the rhythm inside the letter, the idea of the stroke being independent from the skeleton, and how the combination of every part of every layer of the typeface can build something new. So this is the chapter 3 of my life, is whatever you do. Maybe it's not finished, maybe it's not meant to be finished, but it's going to give you tools for the next thing that you are working on. I don't know how many of you know my work. This is my personal, my Instagram account. I'm the one doing crazy letters around the internet, I don't care. When I get client work, they want me to do this. This is me also, I made those. The idea of doing crazy things, but then please don't be so crazy. It's something that I need to balance every day. But I think the most important part is one thing that I hate when people talk about my work is about being experimental. And I'm going to explain why I hate people using that particular word to my work. I don't know how many of you, I love definitions. Being experimental, it implies that you have an hypothesis, that you have a method of work, and you are trying something in particular. I don't think that applies to the way that I work or the way that I think, because it's not something that I'm particularly trying to get. For me, my work is more expressive than experimental, and I go with the definition. It's more about getting a feeling out or giving a feeling when you see my work, and it's not about testing if my idea works or not. Probably it doesn't work, but I don't care if the feeling is that I'm trying something. There's one definition in the book of Betty Edwards. It's drawn with the right side of your brain. I don't know if sometime maybe you saw it. There are many exercises to draw without thinking on what you are drawing. It's a really good book. And the idea of the expressiveness is that the one person is doing something and it's putting more of yourself in the thing that you're doing in every time that you do. Being expressive means that I have an opinion on what I'm doing and I'm putting my vision of the world in the things that I do. I do this when I'm having fun or crying. It depends. Depends on the day. My approach to letters is I like letters. I like drawing letters. I like drawing letters like this, with outlines. I like to move around notes. I like to make things that it doesn't feel like I make them. It's like they are dancing, they are appearing, they have flow, they have feeling, they are moving. And in the past few years, I'm being more obsessed about this. In one point, I start to draw these kind of things because I know how, you know which letter is, right? There's a few, like, it's a lowercase a. In some point, I started to push this. This is for client work. Of course, all of them are rejected. Because I tell them, you know what letter it is, and the answer is yes, but. But one got a tattoo. The middle one, this is nothing to do what I was talking, but I was giving a lecture and I put the image. And another speaker, when I finished, he told me, can I tattoo that letter? And I was like, are you sure? You don't even call with A in your name. And he told me, yeah. And the other day we went to a tattoo place and he got it. I don't know. She's out on the world. His name is Tomás. So, no. I don't know. So in some point, we, at least I'm going to talk about me again. I'm super aware that I know what I'm doing. I know the lowercase n, I know the lowercase I know every single shape that I need to draw. That's a good thing, that's a bad thing, because I know what I need to draw, so I can draw it quickly, because I know how it should look like. For the past 2 years, I'm trying to forget that I know how to draw, that I know what I'm doing, and try to look what I'm doing in the moment that I'm doing and not the result afterward. So, why this? 2 years ago, a girl who makes jewelry, she contacted me that she wanted to do letters for necklaces. And the idea was, she told me, Argentina, what a country. She told me, I love your work, but I need something that with one single shape, I can have more than one letter because I don't have money to produce more. And I look at her and I was like, no. There are 20 letters of the alphabet. The idea of those letters is that they are not the other letter. Principle, basic type design. One letter is one letter because it's not another. She's a friend of mine, so the next time that I saw her, maybe in a more relaxed way, I told her, talk to me in the morning, we are going to do it. And I start to do it. I draw this one. Which letter is it? Yeah. This is going to be super hard. From now on, it's craziness, so please stay with me. Yeah, it's an A. And I draw 3 more. Do you see them? It's not, they are not that hard. E and G, perfectly. What I introduced to her is that if she grabs these shapes and just turn it around, you got another one. She told me, are you sure? And I was like, yes, I will explain with graphics. And I made the whole alphabet, almost the whole alphabet, because we scratched the letters that they are not in the names, from Argentinian names at least. At the end, she told me, no, we are not going to do it. It's too expensive. I will continue with my brand in another path. We still friends. We are okay. I don't hate her. But that gave me an idea. I couldn't stop thinking that the letter appears when someone sees it. That is not something that it's already there. No, that is something that is already there waiting for someone to see it. So I start jewelry classes. If she didn't want to do it, I will do it. But I didn't. I didn't do that. But one day, I was with a friend, and one idea came to my head. I was talking about this particular project, and I told him, what about one shape that is more than 2 letters? And he told me, and continued to work without listening to me. And I drew this. One shape, and depends on what it is, there are 4 shapes. It says drop. Do you see it, right? Okay. I had a class next morning, so I needed to understand. So I sent it to my teacher. Hey, you think I can do this? And she told me, I don't understand what you want, but yeah, I have materials in the workshop, so come. And she told me one thing, you are thinking it in the wrong way. You need to think in 3 dimensions. And I was like, okay, I'm a type designer, I don't do that. But I download Blender, and I spend the whole afternoon and night trying. I'm not going to say that I learned how to use it, but it's something. And the next morning, I go to the class with the computer, I open Blender, and I try to do it physically. And it's like this. It's nothing. I did it, and it's in some place in my house that I don't know where it is. But again, I start to see letters in a different way. There wasn't a single way to fix the problem of the identity of the font, of the letter. It's not that just appear because I said so. It's not the differentiation between the letters the only thing that I need to consider. I put quotes for you to focus on something else. Something, go there. And books that I like, another topic. But the idea is I couldn't stop thinking about this like movement in the space. It wasn't only moving in the shape or in the bones of the letter, it's also in the space. Again, I'm not a 3D designer. I didn't want to do any more Blender. I get back with Glyph and I start to draw this. The idea is, what do you think? It's the same feeling of movement on building something that has some movement inside, and the shape appears by the combination of the shape and the eye seeing. Do you recognize the letter? I'm doing this super easy. Why not? No? Yes. I'm doing this super easily. I put the same one. It's a lowercase a. But of course, for typeface, you need more than just lowercase. Do you recognize this one? Go with me. It's not a letter.
Over 5?
5, yes. This one? The ampersand. The ampersand is easy. This one, I love it, is a G. My mind started to think one thing that I still think and I still experiment every day, and it's part of the project for the residency, is that letters appear because someone else makes appear, not just because I draw them, just because you can see them. Of course, as I said before, one problem is the recognition between similar letters. So you can think of what it is. Go easy. The first one.
O?
O. Uppercase O. I'm going to say that. You don't have the reference. It's the uppercase O. Which letter is similar to uppercase O?
V.
You know type, so you can answer this.
V. C.
C. Thank you. What else? I have O, I have C. Okay, I need one before, but Q is okay.
G.
G. I needed to plan better the order. G and Q. You can see them. You can see them as a system. You can recognize them now that you know that G is G and not C. You can say no to me. Fine. I won't cry. Or yes. The exploration is one thing that I like to think as I can fail and everything is fine. I see the difference. If you don't see it, it's fine. It's not an issue. In type, we learn that the group of shapes of or similar letters should be the same, or alike, or more similar, as teachers say, as I say as a teacher. But the answer is not the same if you think that they need to be different. C doesn't need to be an open O. It's, ay, menos mal que no funciona. Q is not an O with a tail. It can be, but can be something else. What makes a Q and not an O with the tail is the tail is more important, for example. And if I have an uppercase, what thing I also need to have in consideration for similarity? Lowercase. So if I have uppercase O, I need a lowercase o. Do they need to be the same but smaller? The answer is yes, but no. You can find what makes that letter in the system, the particular letter that you are drawing, and try to make the version that represents the idea without repeating the idea. It's like trying to say the same thing, but with different elements. If I say O, uppercase O and lowercase o, of course, the next issue is the 0. And I know these are, maybe this is the O and that's the 0 and it will be the same. They are the letters that I say so because I made them. Finished. But again, the focus is not on solving fast and solving similarity just because the shapes are the same. It's because the system has other elements that can build the identity between them. And if I have O's and zeros, I also have, do you know this sign? Do you recognize it? No? It's an @ sign, an arroba. Because in the mind can be something that is circular also. Again, I like to think that I made type for someone else to read it, and I know it doesn't feel like it, but okay, it's not easy. Do you read the word? What it says? Hello. So I was in this stage, showing my work around, receiving no's for an answer from my own friends. And I decided to send it to one particular friend, Flavia Zimbardi. She's a type designer from Brazil. And I said, this is not working. Let's make the spacing a little bit tighter. And I said, like, OK, this is what it is. I show her and another friend, Federico Parra. He's a type designer from Colombia. I saw using the typeface from him. This is how it looks in text, because a type designer tests the things in text. These are the numbers. Do you see it? 1, 2. I'm going to leave it here for you to process. This is all uppercase. And the important thing is not if you like it or not, or if you think that I solve in the best way possible the shape that I'm trying to solve. The main thing that built this as a system is my first idea that how about I grab something, I turn it around, and depending on the point of view, do you see it? This is like the most basic idea of the word. I grab something, I twist it, there is a letter there. And I have to convince you that you can read it. Do you read this? What it says? You. It says you. Did you forget about the O? Now? Perfect. I don't know how many of you know Susana Lico. She is one of my favorite type designers. She's from Emigre. And she says, legibility is a dynamic process. You read best what you read most. There is nothing there is no one way to say this is the most legible font. It's just because we are used to it. So, in this point of my life, I believe that I have something really good. I was the best type designer in town. And I sent it to my friends, of course, before I release it as a font. And I'm going to translate. The first one is one of my best friends. He says, from the fonts that doesn't work for reading, this is my favorite. Flavia, the girl that I told you before, she told me gracias. Still can't read anything. And my other best friend, she told me, what? I'm a fan. I ask, do you read something? No. This is type design world. Don't make friends with type designers. Again, the process, the project is what it is. It's, at least for me, it worked in the way that I wanted to work. It's not perfect. It's finished, at least for now, but it's not perfect. But I couldn't let go. So I start a new approach. What happened if to complex shapes, I give complex systems of building words. I'm not going to make you read anything Don't worry, not now. But the idea of letter appearing just because I need to read is something that still is something that moved me. I did this one, I drop it. I did this one, and I drop it. And in some point, please don't judge me, or yes, I don't care. I start to dip this. Do you see the letter? Could be a C. You're close enough. A, no. You're not even seeing it. It's like, it should be an E. No. Who says G? Who says, yes. It's the uppercase G. Now that you know, you see it? Yeah. I dropped the project. I was really going crazy. I have more letters, but this one, it feels like I had something I need to drop. And when I needed to drop, something appears on my Instagram. And I applied before, and I was rejected. But I said, I can apply again. And I apply again, and I'm here for the past month, going crazy on trying to find new ways to make letters that no one else can read, except that I force them to. The project now it's going to be finished this week, and I'm leaving. But again, if you notice in this whole lecture, it's one idea that worries me, and it's not where ideas come from. It's more about what I expect the letter to be, on how they behave, and what makes me so excited about type. And it's not about doing shapes for others, it's doing shapes that others can read. Again, legibility, what a thing. But going back to the idea moment, this is something that I want to be clear for the students here. I think we are too concerned about being original, like trying to be crazy and trying to be cool and trying to be the cool kids on the block. The definition of originality is that it's unusual or something like that. But for real, I don't understand why we want to be original. What's original mean? I'm a type designer. I'm making the same shape for the same letter since I learned how to draw digitally. So it's not originality that what I'm searching for or what I want people to see in my work. I prefer that we are focused on being authentic. This is the definition of authenticity, is being authentic. So I bring you the definition of authentic. And for me, being authentic, it means that I'm trying something in the most honest way that I can do. Is having an idea, try it out, learn. If I have to let it go, I'll let it go. If I can't, I will try harder to make it work. If I can have this approach in my work, it's not originality what moves me, it's about being singular. And it's something that I think everyone should be aware of. Everyone is unique, everyone is singular, everyone has their own vision of the world. And it's something that you put in your work, you want it or not. The idea of remove yourself for what you do, it doesn't convince me. It's not that you have to put like a neon sign, like this is made by Fer. It's not like that. It's what you can bring to the table when you start something. In my case, I start letters. And the definition of letters, I don't buy it. And I'm sorry for the type teachers here. If someone asks me what a letter is, my answer will be a letter is a thing. And no definition of things like this. If you think outside the type world, talking about the thing is something that exists because we understand that it is in there, and and the context and the use and other elements make the thing that it is. I'm explaining in a really bad way, First of all, I'm not a philosopher. Second of all, in English. I'm having the best explanation that I can have in this moment. And I know, but stay with me. Some of you already heard me talking about this particular thing that is coming next. Potatoes. Let's talk about potatoes for a bit. I have one tattoo. I showed it today in the morning, and I really believe it. If you think about potatoes, you think you know what I'm meaning, why I mean, because you know the object itself. Each one is different, and we have many different varieties in the world. Shape, color, size, where it comes from, the flavor sometimes. But we know what the thing is, and that for me is the same approach that I have to letters. I know what the thing is. If I have a letter or if I have a potato, I can cook. But it's a thing that we are going to talk about later. I can do tortillas. I can do puree. Tortillas, in the Argentinian version, the egg is fully cooked. Puree is like a smashed potato. I can put it in the oven. I can put things inside, use it as cheese, use the potato as base for pizza. Make desserts, make vodka. I never did, but you can. Only one water element. Again, it's going to go somewhere. This is me cooking. More pictures. Evidence of my ability to cook is the same as type designer. The idea of I want potatoes is like I want to draw a letter. It's as big and as open as you want to. If you have the element that you want to cook or you want to draw, you only have the first step. Whatever you do after is yours. You can have really nice cooking skills and make a full dinner with that. You can have really small skills and get a full plate, and that's fine. You can burn things on the way, and that's fine. I don't think there is only one way to cook. There is only one way to draw letters. The only way is your way. There are technical things, yeah, I know. Again, it's going somewhere. But the important thing is there's not such thing as one recipe. You can grab a recipe from your teachers or from a book or from the type design world and make it your own just because you do something different because you want to, or just because you don't know how to do it in another way. Making letters is not something that only type designers can do. The letter shapes are not property of type designers. So everyone can approach to letter shape as you want. And for closure, and forget about my cooking skills, this is Bruno Unari in the book that I told you before. He says, like, I did the translation. I hope it's okay. He says something like, a really bad graphic designer makes the thing so complicated that no one else understands what he did. Like, I'm going to mess with your head so you understand that I did the best solution without explaining why. A good graphic designer, in my case, a good type designer, is not able to just present the solution. It's more about all the things around the solution. It's making things complicated, make yourself uncomfortable, trying to do something that you don't know what it's going to end. At the end, the solution is going to be there, like it's always been there. If I told you more about each project, at the end you are going to see that I'm not the brightest with the ideas. It's the most simple one, and it's linear what I think with the things that I'm drawing. But that's the ability to have an idea and bring it to the end. Brittany is going to be remembered for It's Brittany Beach. And I'm going to be remembered for a tweet that I have because I never enter to Twitter anymore. It says, acá acumulando fracasos porque para exitosos están ustedes. And I'm not saying that I'm failing in the bad way. because I'm trying something and I'm willing to fail and I'm willing to put something on top of that and continue in the past. If you see my work through this talk, it's one idea, different versions of the same idea. What happened when I tried to draw a letter? And that's it. I'm getting nervous.
Questions, anybody?
I'm already nervous, so you can ask me whatever. Except recipes. For real, I don't know. Go. No, wait, they have to give you.
I think it was interesting to look at, well, you showed a lot of capital G's in your different experiments. I could see kind of your tendencies or kind of your footprints of how you perceive a G. It's more or less a rounded shape or a rounded figure with something going through from all the way from the left to right.
Yes.
And that's how I was able to distinguish that last one was a G. So it's interesting because it's now creating new ways for me to understand patterns and seeing how these typefaces interact with how we perceive information and how we understand patterns of things in context. Yeah, I think that's cool.
Thank you. I think I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to not be in my projects, and so I know that you see 3 of them, and it's like, okay, yeah, I see you there. But I don't think that's a bad way if I'm not trying to make the same thing. At the end, I have my ways on shapes, and I have my preference on how to solve certain shapes. But for example, what you just say about the uppercase G, like being something circular or not, with a horizontal line, that's, for example, the project that I'm doing downstairs in the other building has something of that. And I asked people to describe the letter shape for me. And one of them told me exactly like that. And if you ask me, it's the most honest thing. The thing that makes the uppercase G a G is that relation between something and the horizontal that no other letter has. So if I can focus on that, I can change whatever, but I can keep that information and the G is going to appear. Maybe sooner, maybe it takes 1 or 2 days. Maybe I had to leave the screen fixed before you see it, but it's going to appear. Because I rely on other people trying to read something in my work. Because they know, it was letters. So in some point, your brain is going to do the work. Probably it's going to take time, but if you see the pattern, you read the whole thing because you understood that the shapes are combining in a certain way, even if one of them is tricky enough. In some point, your brain stops trying to watch letter by letter and it's going to start reading. That's what's happened. And for me, that's the fun part, is I can mess with individual letters, but when I put it in context, they don't fight. They build something and you know that it's a word. Or at least I think. Go. No. Yeah.
I'm curious about your process and how you get from an idea to the final result and how you can decide whether one letter works better than the other. I know for me, like when I'm designing, I sort of need time to look at so many different inspiration, time to process what I see, even though I don't really realize it. So I'm curious, like for you in designing type, what it is that you know specifically works for you in creating something.
I don't know. I don't look as many typefaces as you imagine. I don't know many typefaces. It's not that I'm not curious. It's I prefer looking something else. I do more workshops on something that I do on type. I prefer calligraphy over another type workshop. I think the ideas are going to appear when you're not thinking on the specific thing that you need to solve. And I'm not saying you are going on the walk in the park and you see a tree and say, yeah, run your home. It's not like that. You need to be working and the thing's going to appear. But the only way to get an idea is that you are trying to think, not to solve the issue. It's not I'm trying to solve the O. I'm trying to think in the whole system. So I delete letters without any remorse. It's like, it's not working, go. Or maybe I take it to another file and left it there. It doesn't happen that much. I use layers and never come back. Because at the end, it's not one letter that I need to draw. If it's a full typeface, it's 200. So why I fell in love with one if there's many things that I can do? I think in some point in your life, you are going to feel free to let go and start from scratch, knowing that you're not starting from scratch. One, because you have this, I said it today in the morning, and I don't think that I said it right, but I'm going to try it now. It's like a big conversation with yourself all the time. It's not in your head. It's not you talking in your home alone. It's with all the things that you did, with all the things that you see, you watch, or see other people doing. It's a big conversation that in some point affects how you do the things that you are doing. So the next project that you take is going to have the information that you have in the one that you just finished. So it's a conversation with you in the past, with the things around you, and with you in the future. It's never from scratch. There's never an empty page. That doesn't exist. In type, less. I know. The box says N. I need to draw an N. It's nothing surprising. The surprising part is when I finish something and I'm surprised with the result. That I didn't think that it would work, or it goes somewhere that I didn't expect. I have crises. I cry. I cried in the art center 2 weeks ago. Nothing happened. You cry if you are an expert like me. You cry while you work. If not, stop, cry a little bit, and then continue. It's nothing. At least for me, being insecure about, I'm nervous since 5 p.m. I'm shaking. I think I have my cheeks really red, right? Yeah, I can't control it. This is not my best version, and I told you, don't put me through this. If I don't feel this, I'm not going to do it. I probably do. No, I'm not going to do it. Why? I like to feel uncomfortable, but not the bad way. I'm happy to be here. I wouldn't say no to the girls. It's something that puts you in a position, not the talk, not giving a lecture, doing something that you don't know where it's going to end up. You probably do, because in my case, it's a typeface or a logo. In your case, could be a post. You know the final piece. But if you take the process seriously, it's going to be like every part of the solution is there. It's not magic. You cry. Crisis. Dump the idea, grab a new one. That happened. It's true. But at the end, when I can talk about my work, and I can tell you what I thought at the beginning, and I show you the end, maybe today in the morning I show a typeface that took me 2 years to get it to the place, not 2 years of work. Like, me working 2 years for a typeface. Take it to the place that I needed from my idea to be. And I think when they knew about the first idea that I have, at the end, it seems like, okay, yeah, you didn't do anything. You said that you are going to do this, and there it is. And that's the great part, when it feels like the idea was always there. I'm really stubborn with the idea, not with the shapes. The shapes are totally disposable. The ideas, no. I'm not letting go so easy. If it not works in one project, I will try it again. If it not works in this way of drawing, I will try another. If this doesn't feel like right, I'm going to try another way. I don't let go the idea. The shapes, yeah, I don't care. It's digital drawing. It's a great Instagram post. Drop. Yeah, I'm sorry. This is not working.
It's okay. Is this working? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
This and this.
First of all, you are a philosopher, which is a very good thing.
I like to drink wine. I think that is something we have in common.
There's no cultural progress without ideology. So, and mystery is very important, and you have a very strong connection. It's like unknowable is part of communication, and you are unknowable, but you're trying to convey something about yourself without planning to. It just happens. So that's very good that you have that. We're lucky to have you. One of the examples you showed me made me think of something. The one where the center line, everything was connected.
Yeah, I know what you'll give me. This one.
Yes, when I saw that, I immediately thought of your mother teaching you cursive.
I know. I think I need to blame her more.
I mean,
don't do it enough.
you're teaching us, or you're teaching yourself a new cursive.
I think the other day I told you, like, I'm trying to teach you how to read again. Something like that I told you. I think it was you. I don't know who it was. I think it's something like that. I don't blame my mom. She doesn't understand what I do for a living, so I can't blame her. But I think the exercise is about teaching something, but not in a way that I'm going to show you. It's more about the training of, I left the screens for the letters a long time for you to understand the system, and then you can read. If I left, for real, I don't remember if this is texture or text, but if I leave it long enough, you're going to start reading because you know their letter. It's a nice approach to rely on someone else to complete the work. It's lazy, maybe. But I like to think like that. I'm not building something for myself. And I'm not alone in the world. La filósofa. Hola. Wait.
I mean, it's clear that my question is how you keep the balance. I mean, by designing all these iterations of letters, because clearly you want to keep some convention, because your goal is also people to be reading it. Otherwise, it will be a semic alphabet. But also you're saying that the expressive rather than experimental. But also, again, I don't know how much you are like drawing the lines between those two things, because they are expressive and not to the point to be something else, but you don't want to, I'm not saying you reject the convention, but you're like embracing it in a different way. But
like it
how you are putting it together, that's what I'm saying, like how you're putting that in balance.
Yeah, for me, what I don't like when people talk about my work like experimental. It feels like I'm playing. And I'm not playing. I'm not chill. I'm not relaxed. I don't know if you notice. But for me, for example, for experimentation, at least I had a scientific, how it was called? Scientific thought. It was a class during the graphic design career. And they were teaching, like, you have an hypothesis, you put it on test, you have a result, you make a new one. But the premise is that you know what you want. For me, I don't know what the end. I know the middle. I know the idea. I don't know how it's going to evolve in my work. So I prefer the expressive part because I know that I'm grabbing something, the convention, and I'm doing something with that. But I'm keeping the boundaries super close.
But I'm saying, like, you're trying to be more expressive.
Yeah.
So how far expressive you're doing it, because convention is keeping you grounded?
I think I'm going really mad. Do you see my path? And you don't see what I did in the art center. I end up here. I think I need to stop. No, I think that for me, in one moment,
Keeping the balance.
Keeping the balance. I need to go back.
Or it's more expressive?
For me, it's more expressive, but always, if I need to go back, I need to go back. It's a nice letter, but I need to stop. It's not working as a type. Because at the end of the day, I like typefaces, not shapes. So in every project that I show you, it has full uppercase, full lowercase, numbers, and punctuation. And I need to type, and I need to work as a typeface. Not the program, not an OTF file, like the system, the rhythm, the texture, the spacing, the combination of letters that I don't know that other people want to combine. So in some point, I can go full crazy, but I need to come back. And in my point of view, as a designer, as a type designer, and as a teacher, it's easier to go back than try to push far little steps. Go far and then stop and erase things, delete things. And if the system or the idea is still there, it's working. You can remove things and the thing is going to be there. I don't know if I answered your question. I'm so sorry. I ramble for 5 minutes, but I don't know if I answered your question. Any other question, comment?